Hi, my name is Angela Rogers. I am just under 3 weeks post-op and I am feeling so much better. My urinary incontinence and bowel movements are so much better. I cannot thank Dr. Shakiba and Dr. K enough for their hard work. I did have a lot of inflammation and nerve issues, even affecting one of my legs, which was crazy. I had no idea. Prior to this surgery, I had another surgery in January, and this surgery actually made my condition worse, which I had no idea it was doing that. So I am so glad that this happened, and I was lucky enough to find Dr. Shakiba. This is kind of like a monumental moment in my life. This is life-changing for me. I think it's really important to reflect. I really do feel so much better about myself, not only physically, but mentally. And I feel just good inside, and I feel like that's helping with my confidence on the outside. And I think that this surgery was necessary for my self-growth and for my health, of course. Please don't give up on yourself, advocate for yourself, and really, really keep pushing for answers if you're experiencing any of these symptoms that I'm experiencing or that I experienced. It's really important that you get checked out by your doctor. I really think that it can change your life. I feel as though this surgery really cleared things up for me, and I'm feeling a lot better. This journey has been an everlasting long journey. It's been over a decade since I got my period as a little girl. My periods were irregular, sometimes, being longer than 2 weeks, and I would have to wear adult diapers just for the bleeding, not to soak into my pants, and onto my clothes. And it's really been a tough journey with the pain, mentally, spiritually, physically, job-wise. I've struggled with work. I've struggled with school. I had to drop out. I dropped out and I got my GED. I still was with my other classmates and I got to go to prom, but I will say that is not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I went through, and it's something that's real and raw and authentic, and I knew something wasn't right from the get-go. When I first freshman year, I had perfect attendance, and my grades were really good for the most part, except for math. And then I slipped and I stopped showing up to school, not because I was doing something bad or not because I didn't even want to. It was because I couldn't. I was just drowning in this depression and anxiety and pain from my periods. And I had no idea where to turn. I grew up with a father. I don't have a mother, unfortunately, so I, really was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. And, as the years went on, I just kind of pushed it down and dealt with it until I finally started seeking answers. 8 years later, I finally started seeking answers. I quit my job in 2023 as an esthetician, and in 2024, I spent the majority of that year going to doctor's appointments and going to many different specialists and asking questions, asking why. I would always come back, or they would always come back and they would say, we have good news and bad news. The good news is that you're okay, but the bad news is that we don't know what's wrong with you. And the tests were always negative I was tested for so many different diseases, actually over 100. I had a full metabolic panel done. I stopped birth control, and actually, speaking of, with this surgery, I actually had an IUD insertion, And hopefully, I am bleeding quite a lot now, but hopefully that will help with my future. I originally came in asking for a partial hysterectomy. I was so fed up with my bleeding and the pain and the agony that I looked Dr. Shakiba in the eyes and I said, take out my uterus, do something, stop the bleeding, stop the pain, please, you know. And he listened, and he was there, and he was very supportive, and I was able to get a alternative surgery, which I'm so glad that I did instead, because it was a nerve issue, and I will not be needing that partial hysterectomy anytime soon. So I'm just so glad that I'm sitting here today talking to the camera, and that's really all I have to say. It's just that I'm happy.